And apparently we possibly dragged you out here for nothing because no one can hear us. But all right, let's give this. It's third time's the charm, right? All right, let's go. Welcome everyone to Living Room Sports Talk. Hopefully everyone can hear us this time. Kira McCauley, the great Zach Rothenberg, and then we obviously have the president of the student body, Darin Bartholomew.
Hey,
it's by law you take a drink every time. It's like they could see you the first time, they just couldn't hear you. But I like it. Every time you get the intro, you gotta take a drink. Yeah. I'm really hoping this works now. I'm really hoping this works. But hey, we're working it out. It's like the Beatles song. And at this point, it's like almost like we have to tread water. But I love Uncle Ricky hooking this up, by the way, with he's almost like a lifeguard, like our spotter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's like the safety. He's playing zone.
Dude, he's watching the bar, man. He's got you set up.
That's right.
I love your message too. It's like a shot around the world.
We good?
Hanging around, just like trying to trying to do one last bullpen pitch, like looking around, like, all right, Monday Night Football, here we go. I wonder if they heard me like almost curse or possibly kind of curse the first time around.
I don't know.
Oh, there we go. Uncle Ricky says we're good. All right,
we're good.
All right, welcome everyone to Living Room Sports Talk. Here we go. I'll do one more, just as you know. It's like all right, come on, 9 times the charm, Kieran. Kira McCauley, Zach Rothenberg, Darin Bartholomew rolling along. All right, we got week 15 recaps in football. This is much better. I'm happy. Everyone's happy. All right. What kind of? I mean, I'm
just numb, Kieran.
I'm not going to do it again because honestly, it was authentic. It was authentic the first time. I'm not going to be like, Zach, you look sad. What's wrong? Like, all right, we'll exercise the giant demons in a bit. Darin will talk about the Eagles in a bit, but by the way, how you doing, man? It's been a minute. The last time we were talking about NASCAR crashes, people were like, Darin, by the way, man, there's not a whole lot of sports going on, man. What's going on with the car crash? And then, here we are.
It's football season. Yeah,
it's football season.
All right, it's crazy.
So how you been?
I've been great. I've been just watching some football, watching some non-NASCAR sports where they don't go left turns all the time. It's been great.
And the Eagles are playing. Yeah, there you go. Take a drink before I ask you the next question. The Eagles, they're a team.
Yeah, they exist. They show up on Sundays. They play some sports. They do a thing, and
it's not good. It's and honestly, I'm looking at Zach's face. The NFC East had, and this is almost like my hot take going before we jump into clickbait. The door was open for everybody.
Yeah, it was, and then the Eagles just decided to be a train wreck.
Well, we were a part of that wreck too, so don't worry. The Giants decided to be the icing on the cake, cherry on top, whatever floats your boat.
It was not.
The sad state of affairs. None of us
drink some more of that.
The sad state of affairs when no one in the NFC East wants to really trash talk on another team because we're all just so collectively pathetic that it's just like just a sad, like, we're just going to write it off as like, hey, 2020, like, sports suck too. So
someone's going to win a playoff game though. That's the thing I just keep thinking about. Like, it's going to happen. All right, but to that point, we'll go through all the week. Well, I'm excited. We'll go through all the week 15 recaps. Should we do a little clickbait to get cleaned up? I can't.
To clean up.
Like 9. Yeah, exactly. It's a little tongue twister there, Zach.
It's close. Hey, it's close. It's it's a Monday. We're all. I know I'm mentally hungover. We're all a little distressed today. It's a Monday, so
yeah, it is. And I'm thinking about some fantasy things here. But at that point, we got a great show for everyone. We'll talk week 15 recaps, Monday night preview, and a little fantasy implications, even from a personal side. We never really open up about our personal relationships, so this will be fun. We'll dive into all that and more here on this Monday night episode as we're 22 minutes past the hour here. But I'll tell you, let's do some clickbait to get things kicked off here. Zach, you want to do us a favor and save this moment here with a good clickbait segment?
Well, this clickbait, I don't know if it's going to save the moment because it definitely didn't save anything during the game on Sunday. So from our good friends at Sports Illustrated, an article called "Dear Fox, more Aqib Talib in the booth, please." A lot of people in our area, in Pennsylvania area, had the pleasure or displeasure to listen to Aqib Talib call the Eagles and Cardinals game last night. And this article in particular, the guy loves it. Says that he loves the viewpoint that Aqib brought to the game with a player's view, player's mindset, and he really had a lot of insight on this game, man. What do you think, man?
Well, I gotta pull up this tweet then that Mark Farzetta said because this is spot on. It was like top Aqid Talib isms, and number 1 was ... man. Next, number 2 is Pat P. Number 3 was use his legs. Number 4 was Kyler Murray, in quotations pronounced calamari. And then number 5 was it's a ball game.
Oh my god. The best
It was in the first quarter when he made reference to it being a playoff-like atmosphere in a stadium that was 90% empty.
Dude, oh my god. That and every time, I forget who the other commentator in the game was, he would say, "Oh, what do you think they're gonna do here, like being a player?" And he would say, "Oh, man, he's got to use his legs, man. Or they're going to run the ball or a screen." He would throw out like 3 different things. It's like, dude, just give us like your one take of what you think is going to happen here.
I mean this. It's funny because, first of all, I've never had so many people call or text me over one broadcaster. Like, I thought Joe Buck would take the cake on like emotions or like someone having some type of way of feeling. I've never had so many people come like, who is this broadcasting this game? Like, it was it was awesome.
I joined in late, and like I already had like friends texting me like, "Who is this guy?" and all that sort of thing. And I'm like, I was listening to him like seriously, who is this guy? So then they finally show the clip of him and like his get up and his outfit, and I was like, holy crap!
I saw a tweet that said it looks like Aqid Talib looks like your grandma's couch. The checkerboard outfit and everything. But no, I mean,
information about how like, well, it's like part Cardinals, part Eagles. I was like, this is great.
It's like, dude, come on.
Now, all right, I will say this. All right, so my hot take was anyone I feel like that enjoyed that broadcast is someone that doesn't like sports. And that was like, wow. I was like, well, no, just because it was too distracting to me. But then I pulled back, and the great John Henry was talking to me today, and he put some thoughts in my head that I agree with. And he was basically saying, like, look, like, there's a lot of bad broadcasting out there. Like, at least, like, Aqid Talib, like, spoke his mind. Like, to me, that was kind of refreshing.
True.
All right, so personally, I didn't think it was great just because I'm kind of with you guys, like, with the Mark Farzetta tweet, kind of put it in a nutshell. But, no, for me, it more felt like they grabbed the guy off the street, and he had no prep on either team. It was, and the funny thing is, I thought about his entire playing career besides the Rams, I guess. I'm thinking, well, I guess he was mostly an AFC player. It showed. It was like you could tell it was like never played the Eagles and never played really the Cardinals a whole lot, like in his career. And it was like just like the way it was like to your point, like Darren's like, oh, it's a playoff atmosphere in here. It's like there's no one's here. Like point, what?
Though, he was so perfectly 2020 though, right? Like the year 2020. Like he just so perfectly summed up the year 2020 of sports and everything, of just throw the guy in there and let's hear what he has to say. Like that was just
and to be fair, it's so funny because you're right. It's just like you look around like, wait, what's going on? Like what? And to be fair, I also saw a tweet that was saying like it was Eagles Cardinals. It was like the last game on Fox. Like, what do you expect? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that's fair.
Usually the last game on Fox is like the game of the week, though.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, all due respect to Aqid Talib, great player and all that, but kudos to stepping out of your comfort zone. But yeah.
Well, don't worry. And to his point, he's not the only one.
No, he's not the only one. That's for sure.
No. Please allow me to. It's my here. I'll throw one other good jab at it. I saw someone said that they'd rather go back into labor than listen to the broadcast.
Oh my god! Wow, that's saying something. I would imagine.
Look out.
Oh, I know. Hey, we got always our own fan chat us up in Twitch. We're back in here. And we got Joe P within the YouTube world, and we got Uncle Ricky in the Facebook world. Look at this. We got good old fashioned chat going. I love this. All right, to that point, I'll flip over to my clickbait. Zach, I feel some type of way about the show.
It's the boy.
Nah, I'll settle in. It just annoys, and this is not the hill to die on, freaking out over Chris Sims or Mike Florio, but the fact that I've been on the train that Chris Sims is not my favorite personality on broadcasting, and I almost want to like reel that back in. It's almost like a circle, like bring it full loop by saying he blows the Packers. I know that. That's like almost proving my stripes. So like that should be more like why you should listen to me, not you, but the audience. Well, actually, don't listen to me because I'm like a clock that's broken twice a day. But anyway, to that point, yeah, apparently Josh Allen's in the conversation, the same conversation as Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. Zach, how about that? According to Christopher. Christopher?
Christopher. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's definitely a very, very cold take, Christopher.
Yeah, I mean, right? Like the fact that you're saying that they're in the same conversation. First of all, the guys you're mentioning both are Super Bowl MVPs, and Josh Allen hasn't won a playoff game. All right, and like here's the thing, right? Like what I hate about this is almost like baiting us into talking about the Bills, and we will get to them, right? And to that point, we're gonna get to them. Like actually, we'll just do it right now. Let's just do it right now. Let's just talk about the Bills right now. Let's roll into this real quick before I, jump into the nitty gritty of the Saturday games. How great was Saturday? Like jump into the X's and O's of that.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, anytime you can get football, was it 4 times in 5 days on professional scale is a treat. So much appreciated and much needed. That's for sure.
Did you watch it all, Darin? It's like, did you study, Darin?
But I saw that it was on, and I thought it was great that they had Saturday football on.
It's not, at that point, it's funny because it's almost like even if you're not home, but people are home, like it's like a good feeling. Like it's like that's what Saturday football is. Even if you can't watch it, it's just good to have it.
Yeah, so I had it on. Not to go too far off the rabbit hole, but I'm one of those who's very.
Let's get sidetracked. Let's do it.
I'm one of those who's very fired up about Cincinnati not making it into the playoff, and so I didn't want to have college football on. So
let's make that your clickbait. Let's go. Give your soapbox right now.
I don't have a specific tweet or anything, but anyone who defends that decision, that's my clickbait. Is anyone who defends that decision to leave Cincinnati out? I think we're getting to the point now where we really need to look at how they go about deciding that. The FCS has a way better system. I don't think there's anyone who argues against that. And until the TV ratings go down, I don't think that they're going to change the way that they do the FBS. But who knows? I think enough people are fired up at this point that it's time to open that conversation. So.
It's kind of funny too because like I didn't even realize they fully picked the teams. Like I thought like there was a whole production. I was like, wait, they already did it. Notre Dame got in, they just lost. Like they're not good. Like we just needed it as a formality. We had to have them lose.
Not only did they lose, but didn't Notre Dame also threaten, like based on if families are allowed in the stadiums or anything like that, they may boycott or something like that. I mean, if you're already talking about that, why even put them in?
Right? It's. This whole college season to me felt like no fans. It's kind of a wash, right, Zach?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I'm giving myself a whiplash from how hard I'm shaking my head because I agree with everything you're saying, Darin. I mean, it's a shame. It's sad. It's really sad. I have no interest in the playoffs this year, so they'll be losing my ratings for whatever it's worth. This one person out of a billion.
Hey, you got 3 people right here, right? And I'm looking at the chat here. All right, let's get to those Saturday games. All right, you want to jump into it?
Let's jump in.
Yeah, we'll exercise the Saturday demons with my personal life because I feel horrible. My behavior was deplorable in the second half.
Oh no! Was there a noise complaint?
No, there was no. I mean, there's some cursing, some yelling.
We're
not doing that segment now.
Oh, is that?
Do you want to just do this? All right, do you want us to do it now? Let's do it now. All right.
Yeah, let's let it go.
All right, let's do it now. All right, so Packers won. They won. All right, Saturday football, 24-16. There was 2 games. All right, yes. So the Bills absolutely steamrolled the Broncos, and yes, the Packers were the night game. They won 24-16. And it's funny when you step in and take a look back on the sands of time, if you will, because it's the same score as last year. Go figure. And I had the exact same emotions as last year. Go figure. I need to take a whole swig of the water there before I jump into this, but it's funny because I really did have the full slate of emotions I did last year where you're just kind of sitting back in the second quarter. It's like, that's great. Good times, everybody. And then just,
that's the worst feeling.
Can you guys give me an honest opinion of what you think of the Saturday games in general? We'll start, I guess, with the Packers, but then just take it away from there, and then I'll go last because I keep talking.
Saturday games, I like it because it's just more football on throughout the weekend, NFL football. But I will say, if your team is playing and if they lose, it ruins the whole weekend.
Yes.
You'll have no desire to watch football Sunday. I know I wouldn't.
No.
There's a lot more at stake, I think, on a Saturday than there's on a Sunday at 1.
It's funny you say because like the next day I'm just like, Yeah, this is great. Like the little football, it's great. And you put it on. You can, like put basket weaving on for all I care. It's great stuff. Like, right?
It really hits at like that red zone audience of those who like to kind of see everything that's going on at once. Maybe they're not like super invested in one team. Like they can really watch a game from start to finish and have like Saturday and then pick their Sunday slate. I kind of like it. Admittedly, I didn't watch much on this Saturday, but I like the idea of spreading it out across the weekend rather than having so much going on Sunday.
Yeah, it was fun. And here's the thing. It's funny because I'm looking at what Joe's saying in the chat, and it's funny because in general, I feel like we're looking at a lot of last year Packer vibes. Like they're the same team we saw. Do you want to just jump into that real quick and not like to make this like the Packers show? But right, let's talk about that game for a minute. Like, how much do you take from a game like that from an outsider's perspective, guys?
From the Packers game, I mean, hey, it wasn't a pretty win, but it was still a win. So the way you got to look at it wasn't great. That was probably one of their worst offensive games of the year. But to me, that shows that your defense and your special teams was clicking, and they picked the offense up. So that's gotta make you feel good at the end of the day.
I agree. That's kind of the way I look at it. It's one of those things. It's like it's a loss, but it's not really a loss. And the thing is, you can tackle this so many different ways. The way I would look at it, whether this is the Chiefs or the Packers, right? Like from an AFC, NFC perspective, like you have the 1 seed, hang on to it. That's a playoff win. So like, even if you lose the next round, the division round, where everyone's like, "Oh, see, like I told you," no, because no one knows what would have happened in that first round. Just win the games, like anything could happen. So that's kind of my mindset. As long as they won, that's the key takeaway with this. But I mean, it's interesting because Darin, I think this no, I can't believe it. It's funny. It was not even about a curse. You know what I was about to say. Yeah, exactly. It was Temple 2 I mean, we've been saying this like all throughout the show throughout the year, but that was. I'm going to analogize this. I feel like this Carolina Panthers team is that 2-10 Temple team.
Yep.
Our first year with Rule under, yeah, exactly, with Rule under the rule.
His first year at Baylor was awful too. His first year at Baylor, I think they won 1 game that year. So
yeah, you're right. You're right.
Completely normal for him to start off really slow, get his folks in, and go from there. So expect.
But I mean, right? Like, did you say? I don't know how much you saw the game on Saturday night, but I feel like that's the other thing. Carolina's in. Zach, right? They're in these games. Like they took the Chiefs to a 1 possession game. They took the Saints to a 1 possession game. The Packers like
too. They didn't get blown out that first year.
No, that's the thing. When they went 2-10, they were close.
I forget who it was. When Baylor was terrible, they had someone in the Big 12 who was like ranked in the top 10 that they almost beat. They were hanging with them, and I mean it's like, to your point, it's classic Matt Rule. His first year anywhere he goes, hang around there. They might not get the wins, but they're building something bigger than that 1 year.
Oh, what Uncle Ricky's saying in the chat. Well, the Packers were cocky on that touchdown, Zachy. They were. Emily really is the same for watching that game with me. Like, really, because oh man, and Joe can attest, he was watching it. Oh my god, I
bet it's a war.
That like 4th or 5th, like essentially 3 and out. Whether it was like they got a first down and then they punted, kind of a thing. Like, I'm like about to break a pen just thinking about right now. That's how unhappy I was, but. Nonetheless, all right, let's go to these week 5. This is not a Kieran show about the Packers, right? All right, week 15 recaps. Let's do a quick little recap of this. It's funny too because this was actually what I had before the Packers game. Zach, I feel like you're almost the honorary Bills spokesperson. What would you say about first NFC? Or Jesus, I'm like I can't even do it. I'm like scatterbrained after like all the errors today. First AFC East title since 1995. The Buffalo Bills, Zachy, what do you say?
Yeah, I mean, I really think they're man. They got the culture's going up there. Josh Allen. I mean, while I don't agree, he's on the same level as who did Chris Sims say, Rodgers and Mahomes. He's not there yet. He's not there yet.
That's okay.
He's definitely not there yet. But the way he's playing, he's definitely playing great football right now. I mean, you can't knock him. I mean, he's improved significantly. When he first came to the league, the big thing was his accuracy down the field, and I think he's really improved on that drastically, especially this season. But the Bills, man, I mean, I think they're definitely going to win a playoff game at least this year, unlike past seasons. So I think they're going to take their next step this year. I can see them making a run. I don't know how far because the AFC is a gauntlet, but
I could see them going anywhere from losing in the first round to winning the entire thing. Like that's how, kind of from like spot A to spot B, I see.
yeah, I absolutely see where you're. I absolutely see why you think that. Yeah.
Well, and I guess let me ask you this, not to put you on the spot, Zach. What makes them tick? Why? I guess not to because I guess I kind of see it, but I feel like you can articulate it better because you've followed this is your AFC team a little bit. You know what I mean? What? I mean, obviously they can run a little bit. They could I just keep thinking about Sean McDermott, how great of a job he's done. But what about this team makes them? I guess actually let me spin it and say, "Oh, Zach, what makes them good?" No, what makes them possibly a threat to the 13-1 Chiefs that are the defending Super Bowl champs? Is kind of the question.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound very plain Jane here, but the way that the city of Buffalo is rallied around them and the way they support that team is insane. And the Bills have this mojo going right now, and they're playing with a ton of heart. Not to be that guy, but they're playing with a ton of heart. Passion for the city that they're supporting and just the game that they love and who they're playing with, and plays happen, and you can just see the camaraderie with that team is insane. You watch it and they clearly all love each other. It's great to see. It's fun to watch.
That's testament to Sean McDermott, right? Oh, sorry, Darin. What do you got too? You're basically he's a Scranton boy, so he's got to have some Buffalo vibes in his blood.
Wasn't there just some video that was on social of I think they were landing at the airport or something, and the place was packed with people coming out mid-pandemic, mind you, to cheer on their team. I have a soft spot for the Bills Mafia for not being able to be in their own stadium to watch this team right now after how long they've gone without success. It's pretty incredible to see just even throughout 2020, this is the happy moment for that city and that whole community. It's really pretty cool to see.
This is your Christmas present on steroids, right?
Yeah. And Darin, that was at 1:30 in the morning Eastern time. By the way, they were out there in the middle of the night. 1:30 in the morning doing that, and that's pretty cool. It's really great to see. And you had a great point. It's a shame that they can't be in the stadium to watch this team right now.
Well, Zach, let me ask you this, and I hate to be this guy because I'm how much of an advantage would that be, Zach? All right, obviously with the but you know what I mean, with how much they won it, you could taste it out there last year.
Oh, I promise you, it would be a huge advantage because when I was at that game last year, it was ironically against the Broncos. Game meant nothing. It was week 12. They're in the second quarter. It's 5 minutes left in the quarter, and everyone's standing up, banging on the bleachers. Literally, no one sat down the entire game. That place was a packed house. No one sat down the entire game. Everyone's banging. I had a migraine by the end of the quarter. It was great. I would do it all over again because just the experience there is phenomenal. It's a whole other football fan up there, and for numerous reasons. And it would be a significant advantage. Long story short,
oh my god, I just wish they could have fans in there, for one playoff game.
At least maybe 5,000 people. I don't know.
Yeah, you knew Governor Cuomo was going to do that.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
him and de Blasio can have a good old time. All right, I'm just gonna stop right there. All right. So let's get a week 15. Just jump off and get out. All right, week 15 recaps. All right, I'm gonna turn the page, as they say in the show world. All right,
Metallica,
so
turn the page.
All right, let's start with little Colts and Texans. So this had a very bizarre ending. Right, I feel the Colts were never not going to win this game, but it got close at the end, as you can see in the B-roll. And then, obviously the Colts recovered that fumble in the end zone. What do you make of this game, guys?
Yeah, it had a very much AFC South vibe to this game. That's how an AFC South game ends. I feel where it's the Colts are a good team, but they just this is the Colts. That happens every game where it's oh, they're going to win or they're going to lose, and it comes down to the last minute of the game.
It's funny you say it because I almost lily pad that thought and be the Titans are 10-4, and they have a really good run game, obviously, with Derrick Henry. And I kind of sit there, I'm yeah, but they're in the AFC South, so it doesn't really count. You know what I mean? Say to the Colts, why does it always have to be so difficult with these teams? It's like a Big 12. It's like the Big 12 in the Power 5. You just kind of look at them like, yeah, you're in it, but like you're not really in it.
Yeah, and I mean the Texans. I feel like if you look at that division, they're 4-10, but I feel like they're better than what the record shows. Like I thought the Texans could have won this game against the Colts. It's just interesting.
Darren, it's like the American Conference.
Kind of, yeah. It has that same kind of vibe to it. Definitely.
Oh, come on, give me a better. All right, hold on. This is almost like we're going back to movie talk. Have you seen Air Bud yet?
I've not watched Air Bud yet this year, but I'm distracted. Speaking of great commentators, I got Booger McFarland here on the. I'm kind of distracted.
Oh, you got the TV out there, so you're lucky.
I do, yeah. So.
Booger.
Can we talk about his movie watching skills, by the way, or lack thereof, Zach? No Air Bud. For sports, at least. No Air Bud. Have you seen The Miracle?
Yeah, I've seen.
I haven't seen Miracle.
Yeah. Great moments are great.
Or Born from Great Opportunity. Yeah, no, don't worry. I'm not going to let you stumble through that line. All right. What? Oh, all right. God, help me. All right. Oh. All right. All right. We're getting back to football because I can't handle a moment like this. All right. Colts win. Texans are going to just kind of like, just go off into the little quagmire, the AFC South not making the playoffs world. What's our confidence skill in the Colts with Phillip Rivers? The defense obviously okay. The line's all right. Like what? Like I think the Titans are going to win the AFC South, but are the Colts a real playoff threat at all?
I feel like the Colts are coming on. Their running game and offense is starting to gel at the right time. I feel like in the beginning of the season, their defense carried them and was why they won those close games. And I think now you're starting to see that tide turn where, Jonathan Taylor is starting to ball out, knock on wood, one more week, hopefully, but he's starting to play very well the last, several weeks, scoring touchdowns almost each week. He's got a lot of explosive plays. Phillip Rivers seems to be finding his groove more and more.
It's like, why does it have to go into like they should have gave up a touchdown there to send that over? You know what I mean? Like they won the game, obviously, and everyone's like, but that's not a confident win.
No, it's not. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's a grueling division win, which the Texans are going to show up and play. Deshaun Watson is not a slouch. Obviously, that's the only scary thing the Texans have. But like I said, I think the Texans, regardless of their record, are still tough to play against because of Watson. So I kind of give the Colts a pass with this being that close of a game.
Okay, that's fair. And, it's funny, speaking of tough divisional wins, gee, the Bears.
Trubisky time, baby.
You getting some thoughts for show versus street tomorrow again?
Yeah, they seem to be the staple for the show versus street segment.
Dude, I don't even know. Like, you're David Montgomery. Well, kind of.
I was, yeah.
You were? Yeah,
all of a sudden he's playing out of his mind. He's running how I thought he would last year. But hey,
so are they good? Are the Bears good?
I'm telling you, man. I think it's the whole Trubisky thing. Like Nick Foles just is not the quarterback for them, and I think Trubisky. Again, love Nick Foles. I always say that before I bash him with his playing, but I think just Trubisky's got something with that team with the chemistry. I mean, it's clear like Allen Robinson and him have something going on. They've been playing well together. David Montgomery, all of a sudden.
I don't get it. I mean, Darren, break it down. You obviously were a Nick Foles guy here in Philadelphia. Like, I mean, makes sense to this for me. Like, why is Mitch like? Actually, let me rewind it back and be like, why is Mitch playing good all of a sudden? I guess my question is
different than when people asked why Nick Foles was playing so well when he took over for Carson.
Well, it's funny you say that because that's kind of actually the point I'm trying to make. Like, is Mitch actually the possible guy, or is this a case of, I've lost my job once or twice before, and now I'm the guy that can take someone's job, so I have nothing to lose? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is that where he's at?
Certain people gel with different teams better than others. It's no different. I think it's no different than when Nick Foles was playing for the Eagles and he found the magic way to lead them to the Super Bowl, right? I mean, it's just a different scenario.
That is true. I mean, God,
I'm not saying,
think about it.
I'm not saying the Bears are going to go win the Super Bowl.
No, but it's almost like a baseball analogy. It's right. It's like a guy who's not a good starting pitcher, but he could pick. It's like Andrew Miller, right? Like he can pick up the ball in the 7th inning for Cleveland and pitch like 2 or 3 good innings. But it's like that, I
mean, how much of an element of it is it like a big change and teams don't know what to prepare for until they have a few weeks to think through what it is,
Yeah, that's that point. Oh, sorry, we got.
I was saying, my thing, just like aesthetically speaking, what I think is the Bears' offensive line isn't that great, and Trubisky can scramble and run, and he's more mobile.
But he could always do that, right? Not like to challenge the thought, but right. I mean, like that's nothing new. Isn't that what we thought? Like all training camp. Oh, he's a bit of a younger, like Luke. It's like I don't know.
No, and I think that to go back, I think the point is like what Darin was saying, how some people play and gel better with certain players than others. I think it's a combination of the elusiveness Trubisky brings to the table that Foles didn't, and I think the cohesiveness that he has with that team already.
I love what the chat's saying too. Going back to talking about Airball, but it's funny. Let me ask you this: so, are they in the playoff running, the Bears? Oh, here, let's pull up the NFC picture too. I pulled up the AFC one earlier, so you can kind of see it. These are the only teams besides the Giants and the Eagles and the Cowboys. Yes, technically the Cowboys. Yeah,
technically the whole NFC East is a shot.
Yeah. It's so funny too because you watch it. It's like drop. But all right, nonetheless, I'll hold those thoughts till later when we do the Sunday night recap. But anyway, so. I mean, do you think the Bears or the Vikings could catch the I mean, the Vikings aren't going to do it, but could the Bears catch the Cardinals?
The Cardinals play the Rams week 17, and that could be a game that they lose. So, I mean, in reality, the Cardinals could finish 9-7, just say.
And what, they had the 49ers on Saturday, I think?
Yeah. And I mean, hypothetically, that's a game they could lose too. You don't know what kind of 49ers team you're going to get, even though I think the Cardinals will win, but you don't know. I think the Cardinals will probably finish 9-7, just say. The Bears play the Jags next week. That you would think would be a win, but that could be a game that you see the Bears lose. But I mean, the Jags are probably tanking at this point in time. So
I know.
We'll get to that, I'm sure. So
oh my God, I know. There's so many thoughts on that game.
So here's my question for you, Karen. So the Bears play the Packers week 17. If the number one seed is locked up by that point in time, do you see the Packers kind of just laying over a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So
and I'm all for it.
Oh, for sure. You got to stay healthy.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah.
So there's a shot. I don't think it's that great of a chance, but I think there definitely is a shot. I don't know if I see it happening, but.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that the Jaguars because they got their ass kicked to the Ravens this weekend. Was it 40-14? Good God.
Yeah, I know Uncle Ricky's in the chat has been dying for some Ravens talk. So,
all right, let's talk it out. I mean, I don't know how many fossils we found in this dig for the Ravens, right? Like this wasn't exactly an archaeological find. I can't talk. I can't. This is
archaeological discovery.
There you go. That is what I was looking for, Zach. Thank you for picking me up. Right? I don't know. I don't really know what to make of the Ravens. The funny thing is. They're playing well, but it's like, could you believe that they're not in a playoff spot right now? Like, what?
I know. It's hard to believe. It's very hard to believe. That's another thing. It's going to be between them and the Dolphins, I think, for that seventh spot. And let's see. The Dolphins play the Raiders and Bills, so those aren't two guaranteed wins, so.
And let me here. I'll pull up the AFC picture, too. I feel like there we go.
Where the Ravens play the Giants, which I hope the Giants win, obviously, and the Bengals.
Wow, so Miami has no margin for error.
No, Miami has a very tough road, and the Ravens not so much technically. So
God, that sucks. Like someone's gonna get killed over on that. The AFC's brutal, dude.
Oh yeah, AFC's When you have the 7th seed, when you have a team that's not making the playoffs, and they're 9-5 right now. One of those two teams that are 9-5 are not making the playoffs, which is crazy.
Oh my God! Did you see what Uncle Ricky said in the chat?
Oh, what's he saying?
Oh man, you gotta read that yourself. I can't read that out loud.
I can't. My screen's not loading.
Oh, he said the Giants play the Ravens next week, and the Giants will lose.
Hot take.
Is it? Do you want to just jump? It's funny. Do you want to just go rogue off my notes on this one?
Sure.
All right, let me find where those highlights are. Let me pull them up. All right, you know what, Zach? Get the soapbox ready to rock and roll.
I mean, you know what, Uncle Ricky? I would not be surprised if the Ravens go in and just destroy us. I wouldn't be surprised. Nothing surprised me anymore. I'm flexible. I'm a fan of a team in the NFC East. It's been the biggest roller coaster ride of my life this season. Darren, you can relate.
Like, all right, look,
There is no
that game. If you beat the Cardinals, that game's allowed to happen. That game's not allowed to happen when you lose the way you lost to the Cardinals. That was the whole point of my pep talk last week.
No, I know. Are we gonna dive into my?
Yes,
breakdown?
We're in it now. We have the trio.
Okay.
Talk.
So last night, when we start the game with like a 50-yard kickoff return, which is phenomenal, we start the ball at around midfield. And then, our offense actually looked good. We're running the ball well. Colt McCoy, he's making semi-smart decisions. We're not doing anything crazy. You got to take the points, man. Like you're playing. I understand playing aggressive. I appreciate that and everything. And everyone says, "Oh, well, the Browns just put up 40 points the week before, so you have to score." Well, they had 0 points in this game. This game's the only one that matters. Who cares about last week? So I don't appreciate that. I don't like that take. To me, when you're playing a game with your backup quarterback, your offense is going to be limited to what they can do, most likely. Take a little bit of pressure off your defense for once, and just who cares if it's 3 points? When you're on a team and you see you're winning a game, no matter if it's by 1 point, 20 points, whatever, you have some type of good vibes on that sideline, right? Like, all right, we're winning right now. Let's keep it up. We got a 3-point lead. Like, I feel like that just changes everything. If they would have kicked those 2 field goals last night, it's 20-12. It would be 20-12 with 5 minutes left in the game. That's a 1-possession game. I mean, a dummy can tell you that.
And it's funny because I have notes. I'm like, my first question is, why is your coach coaching like it's Madden?
I know, man. I know.
Like that fake. I was about to say fake punt, but fake field goal with your punter.
Yeah, Riley Dixon throwing the ball to, I believe it was Nick Gates, our center in the end zone. And Graham Gano was wide open, by the way. And I never thought in my life I would say that. Graham Gano was wide open for a touchdown pass. But I was on Twitter and Lawrence Tynes tweeted, ex-Giant Super Bowl champion, and he was like, a coach from that organization told me years ago that, let the people who get paid to throw the ball. Don't let anyone else throw the ball. And they couldn't be more right.
I mean, Darren, first of all, did you stay out for that game or no?
I didn't.
I didn't either. I honestly,
didn't miss much.
Yeah, I was here.
Zach, and I mean this in the most respectful ways. That's kind of why I didn't say. Okay, first of all, I was like, die. But I remember there's that moment where I'm like, I kind of your eyes wake up again on the couch, and you're like, do I find a way to stay up for this? And I was like, no.
Yeah, and I hate being the guy who looks back in the game and says, "Oh, well, if you did this or did that, we would have been." But I feel like those decisions to kick the field goals there were not that hard of a decision to make. Don't be the hero. Just put points on the board.
And I don't get it.
And I love Joe Judge. I love him, but
of all the games, just become an absolute just renegade. Why was that the game?
I don't know. I mean, that was almost like the degenerate gambler sitting on their FanDuel app after they just lost $200, saying, "Oh, I'm going to throw $250 to try to win $50 back." That UAB beats, I don't know, Temple, just say, in basketball in the second half or something.
It might happen this year, right, Darren?
It's possible.
Oh my God!
But I love Joe Judge, but those decisions just killed me.
It's baffling, is what it is. I mean, I just don't. It's not his DNA, you know what I mean? As a coach, that's what bothers me. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, and the thing is, James Bradbury, our best cornerback, was out, okay? So if you know this, if you know your defense is going to be slightly compromised, again, take any point you can get. It's not that hard. Colt McCoy didn't even play that bad.
Especially with a backup quarterback when points are at a premium, though. Exactly.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, we don't need to make it a Giant show, but yeah.
I'll ask you. No. I'll ask you this though. What's your confidence meter right now?
I mean,
not. I hate asking that question on Monday after loss because it's but Dwayne Haskins, they lost. The Washington football team lost.
Mm-hmm.
They could lose, especially the Eagles look pretty good. I mean, even they lost to Arizona last night, but I think they're in it.
Oh yeah, no, I think the winner of the NFC East is going to be 7-9. That's my. I've been saying that for the last couple weeks. I think that's what's going to happen. And I'm optimistic, of course, probably to a fault with the Giants, but I'm a fan. So what do you want? What do you want from me? Somehow we can pull off a win against the Ravens. I mean, we went to Seattle with Colt McCoy and beat Seattle, which I'm more scared of Seattle in Seattle than I am Baltimore. I don't know. So I think we can somehow pull it off. I think we can beat the Cowboys week 17. I think that's going to be a playoff game for the NFC East, honestly, but we'll see.
All right, I'll say to that point, should we there's a couple of games to go to. Should we go celebrate the Dolphins beating the Patriots? That's pretty wild.
Patriots now in the playoffs.
I know. Isn't that dope?
It's crazy. I can't remember the last time that happened.
I'm acting like a college kid. Hey, ain't that dope? Yeah, well, that's kind of cool. There, I mean, think about it. You're closer in Massachusetts than we are. I mean, it's kind of weird that the Patriots might not be making the playoffs. Well, now obviously now it's official, but they're not making the playoffs now. There's almost like hesitation, like the boogeyman. Like they're not making the playoffs. How great is that? Sorry, I have to be that guy.
No, it's pretty wild. I mean, where I'm from, there's not many Patriots fans. You're either pretty much an Eagles fan, a Giants fan, or a Steelers fan. But either way, it's pretty wild to think about that they're not in it because it's just been for so long. It's just like the Patriots dynasty domination, all of that. So pretty crazy.
I know. Well, you're an Eagles fan. You went through the whole 2004 cheating scandal, or 2000, yeah, right?
Yeah, Ballgate or whatever it was called. What was the gate called?
Was it called? Yeah, what was it called? Spygate? Was that what it was?
Spygate. Yeah, Spygate.
God, I know. There's so many gates. The funny thing is the fact that we have to what was that? Deflate gate, Spygate,
It's sad. Yeah.
The question was is Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, now that they're separate, what does that impact truly mean, and will either one of them ever rise to the top without the other? And it's interesting to think through and see what happens going forward.
I know. Well,
do they start Stidham the rest of the year to get him some reps?
I don't know. I'm pulling up AOC clips. I was trying to time that out perfectly. I completely airball on this. I was about to ask you, so by the way, you feeling good about the Ravens after you completely just rolled over the Jags, 40-7 or whatever it was, honestly, we rolled through this already. I'm losing it. Wait, no, we did not do this one yet, did we?
We touched on the Ravens briefly, but not in a deep dive.
You're right. No, wow, I'm losing it. I was looking at a highlight. All right. Because I guess to that point, you're right. We were talking about how they're going to make the playoffs or not. I mean, there's something about that team, though, and it's kind of funny that we did this because there's something about this team that I can't buy in. You know what I mean?
The Ravens?
I know they're hot. I know it's the fun pick, but I'm just Lamar hasn't won a playoff game. And Zach, you've heard me say this multiple times on the show. I'm yeah, but he hasn't won a playoff game. I just there's something about them. You can win all the Sunday night games, the Thursday night games, the Monday night games, but I don't know. There's something about them. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I think that's how everyone's going to feel until they do win a playoff game. So it's one of those things where you look at them on paper. I mean, I gotta say, Harbaugh has done a really good job though with that team. I think this year, going through all the COVID stuff, not being together for a while, all that wishy-washy stuff, So I'll give them credit. I think they're a good team, obviously. But yeah, no, I think that stigma is going to be over them until they win a playoff game.
Yeah, it's fair. All right, it's that point. Somebody just won a game. They won a game. The Jets. Yeah.
The fans aren't happy.
Give them love, right?
Well, yeah, you have to. I mean, their fans aren't happy, but
their fans
Sam Darnold is.
I'm about to say, Darin, you probably have some Jets fans or some New York blood, if you will, up in the Scranton circuits,
yeah,
right?
That's about the most sad population of people I've ever met. And I feel like they're even more sad after they won a game.
Did you see Sam Darnold's interview after the game?
No. What was it?
Or someone was doing an interview with him, and of course they were like, "Oh well," or Good Morning Football did it. Sorry, and they said, "Oh, some whatchamacallit, or I don't know, Good Morning, whatever." He was it was an interview, and they're all like, "Oh well, some of your fans might not be happy, but Sam Darnold has this this grin on his face. He's so happy because he knows that he just stopped his team from drafting his replacement in Trevor Lawrence. So." He's the happiest guy on earth, but everyone else is probably miserable.
Well, it's so funny, and I'm looking at the highlights as they close it out there to pick up that final first down. And Zach, let me ask you this, because I kind of felt some clickbait vibes in the house with this whole. All right, the Jets need Trevor Lawrence and Trevor Lawrence, right? Like, and then they they win this game, and everyone's like, they go lineman, they go wide receiver. I mean, they have Sam Darnold, so they can make it work. And it's like, wait, like no, you can't do that. I mean, because like we basically say you can't devalue like a talent at that level. Like I don't know, I hate that take so much.
Yeah, no, because you're basically saying that one win now. Okay, now they need this because Sam Darnold, they won this game, so now Darnold's okay. Like what?
Exactly. It's like you can't, and that's what I hate about ESPN's the ringleader of that circus too, because like that's the thing that pisses me off so much. It's like, all right, you know what? Like, oh yeah, you're like you replace him in 2 seconds, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you got him. It's like you can't just go from those two. I mean, like right, like it doesn't work that way. And that's why, and it's the teams that listen to the ESPNs, the FS1s. Like that's why they suck.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right. You're exactly right. My question is, what does this do for the Rams?
I was just about to ask you that question.
Yeah.
I'm looking down like it's the Rams though. Like that's really what this game means to me. Like, is this a trap game? Because obviously they're going up to Seattle next week. I mean, I think it's fair to give them a trap game, especially when they've been playing kind of well.
Yeah. No, I mean it does make sense, and I didn't know if the Jets were actually going to go 0-16, but I never would have thought they would have beat the Rams the way the Rams have been playing.
It kind of takes it back, and it's I don't know, it's weird.
It's unique, to say the least.
You know, it's not unique.
Ooh, what's that?
The Falcons blowing leads.
That's true. That's standard.
You set that up for me on a tee. I had to take it. That's why I was being
by the way,
transition.
I do have to say, Buccaneers live money line the third quarter was like plus 310.
Did you do it?
Oh yeah.
There you go, Zachy. There you go. That's Darin. That's a gambling reference for you there.
I get it. Yeah. I'm not a bettor for those who don't know.
No, that's what I was trying to point out for you.
Yeah.
By the way, did you do fantasy? You didn't do fantasy football, right?
Me? No, I don't do fantasy either. No.
You don't watch movies?
No, not. Well, I watched Air Bud.
All right, so you did get to that one.
Yeah, I did get to Air Bud. Yeah.
How many Rockies have you seen, by the way? Just I love how we're just going completely rogue here.
Yeah, and sorry for those who don't want us to go rogue, but I watched the first Rocky, and that's about it.
That's good. That's all you really need to see. The third one's
good
outside of that. Oh,
I checked the box and watched the first one.
You think there's other good ones?
Listen, Rocky 1 through 4 is phenomenal in my opinion. Rocky 5 garbage. Creed 1 great. Creed 2 double garbage.
Okay, I'm all in for all those takes.
Rocky Balboa decent, not great, decent.
That one quote about how you got to get up and
that makes the movie.
That's it. That's the movie.
Yeah. Rocky 4 to me is the best one because it's U.S. versus Soviet Union. Cold War.
That is a good one.
The training montage in Russia. Oh, so yeah, exactly.
I'll watch up to that one then. I'll watch the one. Yeah.
What was the one movie we were talking about?
I watched the training montage. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go run like 20 miles, even though I can barely run 2.
It's so great too. Yeah. And he's like lifting like wood, and it's
He's climbing mountains in the snow.
Yeah. All right, let's run through this. All right, real quick. To that point, Tom Brady apparently is running through mountains in the snow because he's timeless. And like I said, the Bucs beat the Falcons. So annoying how much the Falcons suck. I was teasing that headline earlier. Anything else to say about the Bucs? I mean, are we?
I wasn't surprised when the Falcons were up early on them because I thought this was a trap game for the Bucs at first, and then we know what happened, obviously. But.
I guess what I find so vexing about this game is like we went from being like, the Bucs might not make the playoffs to the Bucs might win the division. Like, and they won't. Obviously, they won't catch the Saints the last 2 weeks. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just like that's where they are as a team. It's like they are the most volatile team I've ever seen. There you go. There's a stock reference for you there, Darin, financial world man.
Yep.
I don't know, right? I mean, what do you guys think about this Tom Brady Bucs team in the playoffs?
I'll Darin give a Tom Brady take. I want to hear it.
I mean, let's see what he's got. I mean, he's found ways to win before, and you know what? Other than having a different jersey, I mean, why is he not able to do it now?
Well, he's winning the breakup, right? Too. New England's already out of the playoff picture.
So far, he's winning it. So let's see what he's got. I mean, he's found a way to get this team to 9-5 and possibly in contention to win a division. So let's see what he's got. Playoffs bring out all kind of craziness.
Yeah, it's like a race car, right? You boys can talk about that.
I mean, and whenever I think about Tom Brady and the Bill Belichick breakup, I think about, not to get too far into the NASCAR thing, but Jimmy Johnson lost his crew chief with the last few years
I'm in for this take. Let's go.
They won 7 championships together. That's tied for the most of all time. And whenever I think of like Tom Brady breaking up with Bill Belichick, I think of like the same thing of like who's going to be the one that can come out on top, and it's cool to see. So at this point, Tom Brady's winning it, and I think he can probably figure something out in the playoffs.
So out of curiosity, who won that NASCAR breakup?
The crew chief for Jimmy Johnson went to William Byron, who won at least one race since they broke up. But Jimmy Johnson retired. So I guess you'd say Chad Knaus won
Nobody?
it. You can't say either one of them. You can't say either one of them like resoundingly won it.
No, you cannot.
I think we'll go back and say that they were a great match for one another and were better together.
One last
circuits
question here: are they can they actually go deep in the playoffs? The Bucks?
Are you asking me, or
I'm just saying
anyone? I mean, you take it first, Dan.
I'd say they can win one game, but that's about it.
Yeah.
So I think they could give everyone a problem. But what's interesting about them is they're going to play Washington first, probably. Not to be that guy, Zach, sorry. But I think they will probably play them. And that's a problem.
But Washington causes problems because of their defense.
Exactly. So, they're going to be banged around. And then if they win that game, they would play the Packers, which if they hold on to one seed, I'm saying. But, which I think they would. And I'm not saying they're going to, I don't know. That's a hell of a hard run. Even if they beat the Packers, you really think they're in the NFC Championship after that? Maybe.
I still think Brady is force feeding Antonio Brown. I think it's causing a little snafu, if you will, on their offense. Some of their chemistry on offense.
There's something missing in that balance, right?
Yeah. They don't really have much for running game. I mean, Ronald Jones, he's kind of gone. He's disappeared a little bit. I think he's a little banged up though, but.
And let me ask you this: let's move over to the other side of this for a second. Not really move to the other side, but if we're hypothetically talking about playoff matchups, if they play Washington, they just lost to Seattle. I think the takeaway here is Dwayne Haskins sucks, but we already knew that. So I guess what do you really feel out of this game?
Well, to me, it shows about Seattle because Seattle. I mean, think about it; they lost to us by 5. Which we've shown we can be good, and we've shown we could be bad. And Washington has been more consistent, where they're seems like every week they're a tough team, and they barely beat Washington with Dwayne Haskins. I kind of believe that if Alex Smith plays that game, I think Washington could probably win. Gibson back, I think that opens up their offense some more. Which that's their biggest thing is their offense isn't super explosive. So if they get him back and Alex Smith hopefully
even with Alex Smith, I was about to say I don't know how much it pops. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a very vanilla offense. I feel, but their defense just keeps them in every game.
Yeah, and they had some turnovers. They came close. That was all defense again.
Yeah, they did. I mean, if Seattle will most likely I'd say definitely will make the playoffs, but I mean, I could see them being
it's clinched with that win.
That's right, they clinched. Yeah, I can see them getting bounced first round. They don't really scare me too much.
All right, I like the hot take. And then an interesting game, the big one on CBS was the Chiefs take out the Saints in an exciting matchup in the Superdome. What do you guys think about that game?
Breeze didn't look comfortable, I don't think, that's for sure. I mean, I don't know who would after fracturing 11 ribs, and puncturing one. Only 15. He went 15 for 34, which is very un-Drew Brees-like. So, you got to wonder if he should have even played, to be honest. But even with that, they only lost by 3. We all expected the Chiefs to win, so wasn't too surprised. And
they had the lead the whole game. I feel like that's the funny thing. Everyone's like, "Oh, do you know the Chiefs another game where it was only 3 points?" I'm like, "No, but they're fine."
Yeah, like you said, they were up by more than 3 with Yeah, Garbage time made it close.
All right, I'll tell you. Let's see what other games we got here. You guys want to run through a little Cowboys Niners? I mean,
Yeah.
this is one of those games where I kept like looking up and I'm like, I don't care. Like, let's just say, okay, cool, the Cowboys won. They're done.
When I saw that was on CBS and that was the only game on at 1 o'clock, I was
That's why you need
annoyed.
red zone, Zach.
Yeah,
Darren, you got it? No, I didn't mean to cut you off. I think there's Zach. Please, Zach, go take it. I didn't mean to cut you off there. I was just.
No, you're good. Do you have red zone there?
No, I don't. But I didn't care, so I didn't watch the Cowboys.
Sorry, Zach. What were you thinking when the minute you saw that was the only game on?
No, I was irritated. I mean, I have red zone, so I was going to just be watching red zone. But then, literally, like 20 minutes before kickoff, the news broke that Zeke wasn't playing. So I was like, all right, well, now I have something to care about if I get Tony Pollard. So
that was such a big pickup.
I got lucky.
All right.
I got lucky.
We're getting close to the fantasy circuits tonight. Oh man,
that's right. You have a close connection to this game tonight.
I do. All right. Well, we're gonna rip through these last few games. All right. Let's actually. We're almost there. Actually. So let's real quick. Let's talk about the Eagles game. Actually, I think that's the last one we have. Right.
That's the last one. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So it's that point. I mean, Titans and Lions, real quick. Let's run through that. Titans. I think the Packers Titans game. Everyone's going to learn a lot about their teams in that game. The Lions are out. They're done. Titans won at home.
Yeah. Shout out to Matt Stafford though for playing. He tore his rib cartilage and he played the whole game. And actually had a decent game. I mean, they lost, but still, gotta give a little shout out for that.
And that's fair because it's like, if someone like poked me in the ribs, I gotta sit out. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like.
You get the wind knocked out of you, you're out for a drive, you know? Like it's yeah.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's unbelievable. And he's always been a warrior. I feel like he's had a lot of injuries, but I still feel like he's been a warrior.
He's a great team player, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, but to that point, great team player. Jalen Hurts looked great for the Eagles. I know they lost the game. This is a really good game, right? I mean, like, I'm so stuck trying to figure out what I want to say about the Eagles. Because, you know, right, like, Hurts played great. And, Darren, I'm obviously going to need your commentary as an Eagles fan here in a second. But then, obviously, DeAndre Hopkins catches that touchdown pass with, 7 minutes to go. It kind of puts the game away. I don't know what to think of the Eagles because, I keep using that analogy about how it's a hangover with, 7 Miller Lights the next day, and that's Jalen Hurts. And I'm not saying that he's not good or not as good as advertised. More just saying, it wasn't just a quarterback problem, right, Darren?
I'm more upset about the shot at Miller Lite, but I mean that's my thing. Hurts has shown promise and everything, but I think the first win might be a little bit of the Saints not knowing what was being thrown at them. Now everyone knows a little bit of what to prepare for, but I don't think all of this lays on Carson Wentz's shoulders. He's had a complete garbage offense around him to try to play with, and he can only do so much. He's definitely had his faults. He holds on to the ball too long and all of that, but at the end of the day, the Eagles just aren't good. They got one win, with Hurts, and that was great. It got everyone a little excited, but they're just not that good, and I don't think it's time for everyone to go running Carson out of the city. But we'll see what happens. But
he's gone though, right? I mean, we'll do a little Eagles chatter here, right? I mean, not because I feel like normally we do that right out of the gate, but the record's not exactly. The vibes aren't there to ask you say questions. But I mean, what you think he can't stay?
Sounds like he doesn't want to. So
really yeah, but 21 was it $21.5 million? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Nick Foles about half ish of that salary?
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but I mean, if he's not going to be the starter, you might as well get rid of him.
You can't pay him a backup $21.5 million a year.
No. So I have something I want to bring up. So looking at some of the stats, the last 6 games, the Eagles have won one of their last 6 games. And that one game, Miles Sanders ran for over 100 yards. Every other game, he did not even come close to it. Don't you think he needs to get involved a little bit more on offense? I mean, he's only averaging maybe between 12 and 14 touches a game. I feel like a player like that, he needs over 20 touches a game. And I feel like they're missing something because when you look, I mean, I know that the Eagles were down most of that game yesterday, but Jalen Hurts had 44 pass attempts.
You almost need to make him like a Derrick Henry style. No, I mean, it's obviously a different comparison, but basically to the point of you die on that hill of giving him the carries, and if it doesn't work out, then you go back to the drawing board. Not, oh, well, we had to abandon it before we, right? Because they're not winning games without giving the ball.
Yeah, I mean, Miles Sanders is a phenomenal running back. And I think you give him a ball more. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket science. That opens up the play action. It gives Jalen Hurts a little bit more time, maybe. I don't know. I think they need to incorporate Sanders a little bit more. But Hurts is scary. He's going to be a problem for the NFC East. So.
And what do you think about the Cardinals?
That was a big win. I mean, I think the Eagles are better than what a lot of people think, mainly because of this rejuvenated, refreshed Jalen Hurts and what he brings to the team. I think the team is rallying around him. I think you're really seeing it. No offense to Wentz, but I think Wentz wasn't really a good teammate. And I think all of a sudden Hurts, he's got some pep back in the step of the team. They like him. But now, all right, Cardinals. I think it was a big win. They play a team that, like I was saying, is better than what people think. And, Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins were hooking up on big plays. That made it happen. Their defense, Kieran, 8 sacks against us 2 weeks ago, and they had 6 against the Eagles this week.
They're on a tear.
Their defense is starting to cook.
It's scary.
That's something to look out for. I think the Cardinals could be getting hot at the right time. I mean, granted, they beat the Giants and the Eagles, so it's pump the brakes. I get it, but they could be fine. They could have found something on defense, especially.
And Sacco, real quick, we're just talking about cooking. You got any Monday Night Football picks cooking there tonight?
Oh, we do. They're on the site.
Yeah, everyone's got to hurry up and get them in real quick. The kickoff already happened. Was it 8:15 or 8:20 Eastern?
8:20. Oh well. Well,
it doesn't matter.
The highlight.
Let's do a little mojo Monday. Let's finish this off with a little mojo.
Yeah, let's do that. Perfect.
All right, you want to kick us off, Zach?
Yeah, it's a little mojo Monday. You got to take a little step back from the football field, and we're going to go on the golf course. We're going to go on the links.
Oh yeah, I love it. With
Charlie and Tiger Woods, which I don't know if those of you didn't watch, shame on you. And challenge where there was 20 father and son team, couples team. Charlie Woods is 11 years old. I mean, my man was killing it. He made an eagle on a par 5 at 11 years old.
I saw him done that.
Yeah, no, I made one my entire life, like 3 or 4 years ago, but that was lucky. It was luck, Kieran. That's how that happens.
Doesn't matter. It's all right. It's only birdies that have her luck.
Well, so I mean, they finished 7th out of 20. He's the youngest player to ever play in that tournament. I mean, he was playing. They only lost by 5 strokes to Justin Thomas. Okay, and he's Justin Thomas and his dad, who is a PGA professional himself. So
it's insane.
And there's already betting odds out there for Charlie Woods that he'll win a major before he's 25, and those odds are 825 to 1. So if I were you, I'd throw $5 on that and win $4,000 because that's a lock.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. Well, I'll jump into it. A little mojo for the K-Man would be the Jets winning. Gotta give the Jets some love, right?
They don't get any love any other time, so might as well.
Yeah, that's it. That's their thing. All right, now at that point, that it's quick as that was. We'll do a quick thing for following us and checking out our audio episodes on Spotify and iTunes. You can check us out on social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit @_get sidetracked, and also visit the website www.get-sidetracked.com, and then check us out on Twitch. It's the holiday season. Give us a little love, right? The purple heart to the left for a free follow. You can subscribe to the right. It's free on Amazon Prime, so everyone has Amazon Prime. It's Christmas season. And to that point, we got a little YouTube action, so you want to subscribe to us on that way too. It's free, so there's absolutely no excuse for that. And then for some of the holidays, hey, you can always get your sidetrack gear right on the site, right? Yeah. I'm out of ideas to hype up the site at this point. Everyone's heard this like for 24. It's like on the 12th day. All right, yeah, we got it. All right, Karen, just shut up. All right, but you can always get some cool stuff on the site. But this was fun, Darin. I'm excited. I feel bad that we didn't get a rip into the movie criteria tonight.
It's okay. It pretty much would have just been Air Bud, and I would have talked about how he catches stuff in his mouth, and that's about it. So
that's all right. That's what everyone in COVID's doing.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Right? Come on now.
Yeah, I gotta ask there. What's the last movie you saw? And should we watch it?
Oh, actually, I actually watched Days of Thunder last night.
Ooh, all
right, there we go.
Phenomenal movie. Phenomenal.
I'd say go watch that. Yeah,
watch that movie. Never gets old. It's perfect.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, well, we got a little Monday Night Football action tonight, and yeah. All right, so we'll catch everyone back on the stream tomorrow at 7 o'clock Eastern time. We hope everyone has a great Monday night, and we'll see everyone.